What is up, Loudmouth Sports Group, Loudmouth Sports Talk? It is Sean and Luch with another episode of Loudmouth Off the Top Rope, folks. Another great episode. First and foremost, before we get into crazy wrestling week this week in the WWE, make sure you guys go to bombshellbowling.com/Loudmouth Sports Talk. Get your Loudmouth apparel today. T-shirts, $20. And we now also have the hoodies out. They are $40. Anything over XL is $45. So make sure you go to bombshellbowling.com/Loudmouth Sports Talk today to get your Loudmouth apparel. Luch.
What's up?
The Big Chief. His island.
The Big Chief and his island. One of the promos I've seen cut.
And corrupting Paul Heyman.
Yes, Paul Heyman went and said, "You might think I am corrupting him. No. It is the other way around." I mean, to start Raw, to start SmackDown off like that, we all know I'm not a fan of starting it off with anything but a match.
Right.
But when you have Paul Heyman come out with a mic in his hand, that's also another great way to start off SmackDown. I mean, this promo attacked wrestlers. It attacked WWE, Vince. It attacked some people that might have turned a few heads backstage, we'll say. But I think that might have been one of the best promos Heyman gave in a while.
And it's been a long time since he gave. I mean, he's always gives great promos. I will give it to Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman, every time the mic is in his hand, I want to listen. But this promo was golden.
Oh, yeah.
Straight golden. I mean, golden. I only seen about 3 minutes of the promo. I didn't see the full promo. But from the 3 minutes that I did get to see of it, it was golden. I mean, him just literally attacking, like you said, every single superstar, attacking the business and letting him know that it's his island. He's the big chief in charge.
Yes, thank God.
No big dog, not my yard. It's gone. Folks, you are going to see a whole new Roman Reigns. And this is something that I think if you go back, if you look on YouTube, Booker T talks about this, that this is exactly what needs to happen in WWE. People, you thought you loved Roman then, you're gonna love him now. People are going to gravitate towards him. He has evolved into something that people have been wanting to see for a long time, and his character. His facial expressions are 10 times better. Less words. Leave it to Paul Heyman, his legal counsel, not his advocate, his legal counsel. And just show up and win. That's it. That's his show up. All I got to do is show up and win. So this is exactly what I'm talking about, folks, is evolving. And this is exactly what Kofi Kingston needed to do as well. And like we discussed last week, you need to evolve. So evolving is exactly what Roman Reigns did, because Roman Reigns was getting stale by the time before he left, before this whole coronavirus happened. He was getting very stale. So with that being said, I am totally for Roman Reigns with this whole character change. And The Miz surprised me too with the way he came out with saying that he's got to be better than ever, that he thinks he can beat Roman Reigns, that he needs to up his listen. The Miz is very
now.
The Miz is very entertaining, and I think this is where like I said with the Xavier Woods with Kofi Kingston is you're very entertaining. But you need to get more serious about where your positioning is at in the WWE. And that's what I meant last week when I said about Kofi is not the main event Universal Champion type material. because he's not in that class yet of up in that rank.
He's up there.
He's a mid Carter at best, top mid Carter. But
tell him, Joe. The Luchin,
Miz,
okay.
The Miz isn't even. Hold on, The Miz isn't even is not even a top superstar. He's a top mid Carter too.
No.
You give
by this point, he's a very good top mid Carter.
He's a top mid Carter. So if you think that I'm talking like The Miz should get a Universal Championship, no. The Miz is a great advocate for WWE. The Miz is a great face to put out there when you go, hey, I need somebody at a signing, at a show. I need somebody to do hosting a show. That's where you need to be. He's telling you Luch is on top of all them bums. All right.
Yeah, but at the end of the time, the Miz could add it wouldn't be a bad match. Miz knows how to work. They're both safe. They both know how to work. But to be honest, I just think that Miz, like you said, is a top mid Carter. He's a top mid Carter. But I just don't see him before he retires getting anything less than an IC title. I just don't see it. To me, that time is over. And the time is he's now, Johnny Drip Drip and MC MIZ. That's just what it is now. And and I think he's comfortable with that. He has his own reality show. He has the cannonball thing he has going for him now. So I think he's stepping out, and I think he just needs to step out of that, maybe in general altogether. But we'll see it. I would hate to see him leave WWE, but maybe it does. Maybe he just needs.
I don't think you have him leave the WWE. I think him being in WWE, but I think he becomes like the voice in some way. You put him in an announcer position. You start putting him. I would love to see him behind at the announcer table. I'd love to see him with Corey Graves or with Tom Phillips. Yeah. Like I would, and Samoa Joe. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see him.
Him at SmackDown, I think would fit great. I think him with Corey and Michael Cole.
Yeah,
you can have maybe Miz be play by play in a way. I just can't see Miz being a face calm. I just don't see it. He would be a better heel, but Corey obviously right now is the heel. And he plays a great heel. Corey is one of my favorite commentary people at the moment. But I wouldn't mind seeing him in a different position in WWE. But I think the wrestling for him, he should step away from.
I don't know. Maybe a little bit, but he's young. He's not old. He's in his 30s. I mean, he's mid-30s. He's not that old. So
yeah, I mean, to them, mid-30s is like 50 because of everything that they've been through.
Right.
But I mean, take a few months, see what else WWE has for him. It could be a backstage role. It could be on comm. It could be whatever. But,
I think he'd make a great road agent. I think he'd make a great producer. In that backstage role, I think he'd be excellent down at NXT. I think he'd make an excellent promo coach.
To be honest, promo coach would be very good.
God.
To be honest, I wouldn't mind seeing Miz as a manager. Have him come down, pick somebody, manage them. He kind of started to do it back in the day with Alex Riley.
And he did great. He did great. He did great with Alex Riley.
I was going to say it went good. I thought it went very well for a moment. They kind of dragged it, but WWE has
the tendency to do that
thing. But I can see him maybe doing something like that. But I don't want to see the Miz leave wrestling in a hole. I just want to see him maybe take a step away from the ring. Because, to be honest, I just think he's getting the respect he deserves because he is a hell of an athlete.
Maybe he should be like, I think he should be maybe a voice for John Morrison. Like be
But
that.
what else? Yeah, but I don't see John going to accomplish anything crazy neither at this point in his career.
No. And I think John Morrison would make a great agent. I think he'd make a great coach down in NXT.
Yeah, I mean, I can see him being a manager also, but I just wouldn't want to see him. I can see him being a manager. I just wouldn't want to see it personally. I just don't feel like Morrison.
No, I would never want Morrison to be a manager. I'd want Morrison to be more of a coach, more of a road agent, more of a producer backstage.
And he has the talent too.
Helping the young guys come up. That's where I see him, not as a manager. Now, The Miz is definitely a manager. Miz has the mouth. Miz has the charisma. He knows exactly where to be. He knows that ring psychology is just there.
Oh yeah, his ring awareness is outstanding. But let's talk about something else, because it's been a topic on Loudmouth for the past couple days. Vince, Cameo, Twitch. Vince wants to take his stars off of Cameo, Twitch, and YouTube, etc. Any third-party brand. What do you think of this?
I don't like it. Like, that's almost like you telling an NFL football player you can't go work for Nike. I mean, it's literally like that. It's literally like, oh, Nike wants to sign you? Yeah, no, we're not going to do that. We only sign with Nike. You wear it, and we'll pay you X amount of dollars. Well,
exactly. And
like this Cameo, Twitch, I get it because you are kind of exposing yourself. But if you're going to do it, you have to stay in character. You have to stay true to who you are, your image that you are in WWE, in a way. So, but I get it that these wrestlers are doing that because, listen, you're not going to wrestle forever, and you need a business outside of that. So I get why they're doing the cameos and Twitch and everything like that. But, I mean, if you're allowing, like, John Cena to go out and do what he does, you can't take that away.
We all know how Vince is. Vince picks and chooses.
Right.
That's his boy.
That is his boy. But at the same time, you're looking at it as like, oh, so John Cena could go and do this stuff, but I have to get rid of everything. You can't tell one superstar you're allowed to do this, and then tell the rest of the superstars, well, don't worry about what he does. You got to do this. You can't do that to somebody.
Yeah, and at the same time, you sign them under an independent contractor.
You're a 1099. Who are you to tell me what I can and cannot do outside of the WWE?
And Vince, if you're going to do this, and you yank them all from other platforms, you need to start paying either. I wouldn't say more because obviously some of these superstars are getting paid a lot, but you have to kind of give a little something, maybe insurance, health insurance, something. You have to give.
That's never going to happen.
Else. Yeah, because of everything. But he needs to give something else if he's saying you can't do this. Because
if you're telling me I can't do this, then I got to see an extra few zeros on my paycheck, on my check when I get paid.
And here's the thing too: is Triple H telling Vince not to go sign with ESPN or not to go sign with Fox or FX1 or FX2 or whatever? Because no, why? Because it's making WWE more money, which is why these superstars are doing it, because it's making them more money. Vince, they cannot wrestle until some of them don't want to be in Ric Flair's shoes and still coming to the ring at 70. Some people don't want to do that. Some people want to step away from the business and not think about it again. That's just how some people want it to end.
And speaking of that too as well, is because you have got take for Renee Young is a prime example. She left WWE. Okay, her contract is up. She left, but for 90 days she can't go anywhere else. So if you're pulling me away from something that I'm making money on the back end because I'm setting myself up for the future, And when my contract is up, I can't go to them because it's competition, or in your eyes, it's competition. How do I make my bread for the next 90 days? Then you better be sending me paychecks for the next 90 days.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I think that there are some, exceptions. I'm thinking older stars, it's not a problem. But at the same time, I would just, if I was Vince, and I would say I would pull the ones who do it aside, say, listen, if you're going to do this, you're going to do it. But if you're going to do this, AJ, when you're streaming on Twitch, you're AJ Styles. You're not
Alan Jones. You're AJ Styles. Right.
When, Selena, when you're on your YouTube, you're Selena Vega. Same with Black, Aster Black, all of them.
And I mean, if you're doing that, so I guess we're gonna get rid of Sheamus's Celtic Warrior workouts then. That's been posted on Facebook with different superstars.
I mean, look at Up, Down, Down.
Up, down, down. Are you going to get rid of Up, down, down?
That's a few million, couple million subscribers, I believe, right there. So
easily. And he's been doing that for years. I mean, 3 years now with Up, down, down. So
I'm looking right now.
Yeah. That's a couple million of subscribers.
2.2 million subscribers, 2.6 thousand videos, and they've been on for like 3-4 years.
So 2 million subscribers. If you get rid of Up, Down, because if you do go with that route and get rid of Up, Down, Down, you probably lost 1.5 million fans in WWE.
And Up, Down, Down has 90% wrestling content. And I'm not talking wrestling by, videos and stuff. I'm saying wrestlers are on it all the time. They're the ones playing the video games. You want to know why? Because that's what they're doing in the back before shows. They're playing video games with each other or bullshitting or chopping it up. And that's what they're doing.
Well, Danny Navarro just said that Up, Down, Down is in a working relationship with WWE. Yeah. I mean, that's a good thing for Xavier Woods. It's just
the content adjusts with the changes in roster. I kind of thought that, Danny, because I seen Up, Down, Down, the championship on WWE Shop. So I kind of knew I had a thought that Xavier Woods and Vince kind of cut a deal or work something out.
Right.
Or could do something like that. Or have Vince say, listen, what are your paychecks from this? Blah, 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 whatever. Well, if you're going to do this and be on a contract with me, out of this check, I get this.
Right. I get a percentage. I get 5%, 10%.
And do that. And whatever it is, maybe work out something. You cannot take money out of your star's hands. That is not okay. And it doesn't look good on your end, Vince. I'm sorry.
Right.
I'm sorry. It just doesn't.
Yeah, that's bread. That's bread in their pocket for their families that they need to feed. Because, I mean, if you think about it, the way they cut checks in WWE, it's not like right away. I could tell you that right now. It's not right away. Yeah. So
it's not like a weekly paycheck. You don't go in on every Monday and Vince is handing you your check. It's different.
Right.
So and at the same time, you have Vince you're going to have people not want to sign with you. And it might become a problem if this keeps going, because you might have people that have other opportunities outside of wrestling.
Absolutely.
That come to WWE and go, oh, well, if that's the rules, then I'm not signing no dotted line.
Right.
Excuse me. Because I can go to AEW, I can go to Impact, and I can still make their money and still make my side money at the same time. And I can still get whatever. But I just think that Vince needs to sit back and take a look that this isn't 1980 anymore, Vince. This is 2020. And there's a lot of ways to make bread these days. And let your superstars do it. Like, stop being selfish. That money's not all for you. Like, and we all know Vince, he's a money hungry dude. Like, Vince loves money, and we all know it.
Well, I mean, Vince is a billionaire, simple as that. And I mean,
Yeah.
that billionaires only think for themselves when it comes to that. I mean,
Yeah.
does he care about the wrestlers? I'm sure he cares about all his superstars, and he wants to make sure they're all well taken care of. But at the same time, you know, when you talk to a few of these wrestlers, you know, I think only, you know, when you come into NXT, you're only making close to like 50,000 a year. It's like a regular job. You starve for your first year. And it's not like Vince is paying your hotels and your car fares and your airfares. You're paying that on your own.
Unless it's out of the US.
Unless it's out of the US. But if it's in the US, that's all on you. So, Vince, if that's how they're paying, I mean, literally, that's how some of these superstars are paying their way to go to these shows, to be on the roster. Is they got to make their own money. They got to make their own bread. And for you to take bread away from people, I just think is totally wrong. I'm not really for it.
He doesn't want people getting over on their own merit.
Yeah, I mean,
in a way, depending on who you are, Danny. See, this is, again, we go back to Vince's pick and choosing.
Yeah.
If you're The Rock, if you're Cena, if you're whoever, you could do whatever you want. No wrongs done. Shit, he'd probably even, you know, help you get away with murder. But the thing, it goes back to Zack Ryder. Yes, when Zack Ryder had a YouTube channel, him and Vince actually had to cut a deal about that.
Right.
And for the
Long Island champion.
Yeah, the internet's champion or whatever he was calling himself.
But that was a great way. But here's the thing: it was promoting Vince.
Yeah, and it made him the character he was at that time.
Right. So, like a lot of these Twitch accounts and a lot of these cameos they're doing them as themselves, and they're not doing them in character. So I could see why Vince, in a way, wants to get rid of the Twitch and the cameos, because you're not coming out as the actual character. You're really not promoting the wrestling aspect of it. You know, if I come out as Alan Jones on Twitch, if I'm not a wrestling fan watching it, I just think I think he's just Alan Jones. I don't know who he is.
Well, I mean, for like, the wrestlers don't just put like their names. AJ Styles was still on Twitch as the Phenomenal One. And, you know, Charlotte is still on Cameo with Charlotte and whatever. So they still are. But, I mean, I get what you're saying. They aren't acting. They aren't their character.
Exactly.
And that can kill the business. But at the same time, the business isn't what it used to be.
No. And it never will go back to that.
There's no such thing as hiding anything anymore. Like, even the thing about like Roman coming in, like at SummerSlam, I read about it. I read that it was either going to be Brock, Roman, and I forget the third person that there was a suggestion. I think it was Goldberg, actually. So I read that it was one of them three.
Right.
Now, which one is it? Choosing for us to find out. So you can't keep anything a secret anymore. There's no such thing as that. This is 2020. There's technology. You can find stuff out so much easier now. So you can't be your gimmick all the time. It just doesn't work anymore.
Speaking of certain things that are happening, have you seen that Tyson Fury has called out Drew McIntyre?
No, actually, I did not.
Yes, he has put out a few Twitters calling him out, challenging him to a fight, saying that he knocked out his friend Braun Strowman.
Okay.
You know, and I mean, Drew McIntyre did respond saying, you know, you call me out when I have this hairline fracture in my jaw, perfect timing, da-da-da-da. I mean, do I see a WrestleMania match? Do I see a future match with Tyson Fury? Yes, and I don't want to see it because, listen, Tyson Fury, when he was in there with Braun, looked horrible. Horrible. Couldn't even wrestle. Like the dude has no character in him. He has no, he looked awkward as shit in that ring.
Yeah.
And Drew McIntyre is the WWE champion. Why are you lining him with a Hollywood star? Somebody, I mean, an outsider. I mean, literally, he should be defending the WWE Championship, which makes me believe with this whole Tyson Fury thing coming out, Randy Orton is probably going to take the win at Clash of Champions, and they're going to put the belt on Orton.
Which will lead to putting the belt on the Rated R
Stupid
Superstar. Do I feel like that's stupid? Fuck yes. I'm sorry. I love Edge. I think Edge is a great athlete. I think he's a great wrestler. But his time's over. And
right. And I think the reason why
I hate to say Sean here is a big fan
of who?
Of Randy. And I think the same thing with Randy.
I'm a big fan of Randy. Do I think Randy needs to have the title on him? No. Would it be nice to have the title on him? Yeah. Maybe to put over Keith Lee.
See, here's like, you bring Keith Lee, and this is what I don't want to happen. I don't want Keith Lee to come in so hot and then just die out. That's the problem I feel that is going to happen. I feel like he's coming in on shit. His first match he didn't defeat, but his first pay-per-view, main roster pay-per-view, he defeated Randy Orton.
Clean.
How many people can say they did that?
He cleanly beat him.
Yeah. Clean. How many people can say they actually did
here's another thing. And here's another
Not too
thing.
Many.
Here's another thing with wrestling fans. Here's another thing with the wrestling world. I am sick and tired of telling me that Randy Orton doesn't put guys over. Bullshit. He just put over Keith Lee.
Listen, Randy buries who they tell him to bury. Randy puts over who they tell him to put over.
No, Randy gives back. How many times has he gone? He's gone down to NXT and has lost matches in NXT to NXT stars that he felt, hey, these guys are. He's done that. He's lost matches to make guys look good.
I mean, shit. He just lost a bit. To me, they kind of killed off the legend killer, though. You can't have somebody reigning supreme for weeks. And then Keith Lee comes in, one power bomb, and it's over.
Well, here's the thing, though. Too, I think it was killed off as soon as he lost to Drew McIntyre. You know, he killed all these legends. You put out Shawn Michaels, The Big Show, and Ric Flair. The knight in shining horse of Drew McIntyre comes through and kills the legend killer. You know, like just puts an end to it, a stop to it.
But you had such a good thing there going.
Yeah, but you don't have
so much.
But you couldn't bring legends back because of Corona. If this Corona wasn't going on, he would have a great run of a legend killer.
You don't need legends. You need Triple H. That's who you need. That's all you need. He's there week in and week out. He's there. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Triple H brought him in.
And I don't think but I don't think Triple H wants to wrestle. He hasn't been out.
No,
he hasn't come out. He hasn't come out since he lost the Randy. He lost the Randy out in wherever that country. So that was the last match he had.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I get it. Randy, I mean, Triple H doesn't want, at the moment, he doesn't want to step in the ring. But if he really wants to take control of NXT and everything, maybe he should just come back and one last WrestleMania against Randy, have Randy knock him off. Okay, now he's not the legend killer. Now he's the legend because he killed the cerebral assassin.
Right.
Which was the guy of WWE. I mean, like, let's be honest. John Cena's the man and will be the last man in himself. But Triple H is that man in WWE. He's
He
in there
is.
week in, week out. He's helping people train. He's helping people with promos, even though he's boring.
He is the measuring stick. He literally
Yeah.
is the measuring stick of WWE.
Because
you
he's
wanna
been there for years.
Yeah.
Blood, sweat,
You
and
come-
tears.
When you come into WWE, they literally tell you if you want to be great, you got to measure up to Triple H. You got to measure up to his dedication, his heart, his desire for the business. That's what people. You got to look to him. Then you
And
look at
that's
Randy.
another thing.
Then you go down the line. You look at Randy and John Cena, and you just keep going down the line of guys who blood, sweat, and tears to the business. You know, if I came into the WWE, I'd be like, I want to be like Triple H. I want to have a career like John Cena, and I want to be a legend like Randy Orton. I want those three guys instilled in me to be the very best wrestler.
You know, and I think
Here's
that
the
when
other problem too.
newer wrestlers come,
Yeah, and here's the other thing too, and it was Jake the Snake said it on a podcast. Wrestlers don't know how to get over today.
no, that's true.
They don't know how to get over. Listen, MJF is great, but he still can't get over.
What? MJF is one of the most over people in wrestling right now. Everyone loves him
But he's still having trouble getting over. You get what I'm saying?
because of Mox. Because it's hard. Mox is the guy, and he's carried the company for how long now?
Have you seen did you see the latest? Did you see him do his did you see what I posted of MJF, the interview with the neck brace on YouTube?
I seen it. I seen a little bit of it. I couldn't
Listen,
watch
I'm telling you what, that was probably the best I've ever seen of him. He went strictly, he was like a Miz promo right there. He went from face to heel, back to face, back to heel, back to just MJ, back to just him being him, back to face, back to heel. I mean, he literally, like, they first started out and they said, you're going to be facing John Moxley this Saturday. He's like, hold on. He's like, I know you got the emails. I know you got the phone calls. It's Dictator John. Like, that is just heel classic moments right there. And he went back and talked about Cody Rhodes and how he looked up to him. And that's the face part. But then how he had to knock him off and he was holding him back. And that was the heel part of him. Like, he was just, it was pure gold watching that all of that unfold.
I'm gonna definitely have to give that one a watch.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a 10-minute interview, but it's a great 10 minutes. I can tell you that right now. Great 10 minutes.
I just feel that, MJF, do I see it at All Out? No. Do I hope? Yes. I'm hoping and praying, but do I see it happening? No. Do I see it before the year is over? Hell yes, I do.
Like I said,
my words.
And you're telling him, and I told you that. I said it's not his time. Beginning of the year is his time. Okay, but you're telling me he's not getting any younger. The kid's only 24 years old. He's only 24.
But
can you imagine him at 49?
Has mad potential.
He got a great 25. He got a great 25-year run. 25 years. He got another.
Let him run this
years
and let him run AEW all the way up that fucking chart, because that's what he's gonna do. Ain't no one else. I'm sorry, can't no one else in that company, I think, push that company further than MJF.
Besides Jericho.
Yeah, but Jericho has how many years back in his name?
Yeah.
But like MJF is the next big thing. He is gonna be the face of AEW in the near future.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
In the very near future. Like I said, do I believe it's coming at All Out? No, I hope it. I hope and pray that they might have it happen. But if it doesn't, mark my word, by the end of the year,
I think
MJF will be your AEW champion.
He will be, and I think the AEW champion. He might not win it because he did say some things about Wardlow that might have Wardlow turn his back on him on Saturday. Tonight.
I thought that was going to happen a while. I thought that was going to happen.
Well, a while ago.
So we're gonna see
on the YouTube. If you watch it, they go, you and Wardlow. What do you think? Are you going to give Wardlow a friendly competition for the AEW Championship when it's all said and done? He goes, I owe him nothing. He is just a guy who rides my coattails and gets the knowledge and gets to have knowledge from me once a week. All he is a big dumb jock. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, you know what? It's setting up. It's setting up. You're literally watching a current Shawn Michaels Diesel moment right there. That's literally what you're watching. And I know when that happened, I was all in tuned in on it.
I want to see that. I do want to see them split. I think.
But I think Wardlow will fall.
Yeah, they're not going to have hard.
If he doesn't have MJF, he's done.
See, I don't know. I feel like he has talent. That's a big boy, and that big boy can move, Sean.
He can move. He can move.
Boy can move. So I think he can. Does it help that he has one of the best at this moment by his side? Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he's not going to be anything special. He might be, but will never be as special as MJF.
No. MJF is a dime a dozen. He's one of those wrestlers that come around once every 5-10 years. And
you'll never find another one.
The best part about that also is they mentioned him at WWE getting pushed
by Samoa
Joe. And he goes, I don't know that guy. I don't know who that. He said, that was not me. I don't know who that guy was. And they were like, so you must
get out of him.
He's like, then it must be that must be a twin out there. He goes, yeah, everybody's trying to be like me. I don't understand why they were. Listen, it was like pure gold when he was talking about it. And here's the thing is, the Wednesday Night Wars, AEW is leading this Wednesday Night Wars. They are going to be there. I mean, they are Wednesday Night Wrestling. Simple as that. Pure
simple. But the war's over. They're moving to Tuesdays.
Yeah, exactly.
So they're afraid
because they just got beat. Literally, Wednesday Night Wrestling is AEW.
Spanked them.
Yeah, and I think that's what they realize is like, oh, we're losing here. Our ratings are getting crushed, and we got to move. We got to move to another night. So move to Tuesday nights. All right, that's cool. So I'm gonna get Monday. I'm gonna get Monday Night Raw. I'm gonna get Tuesday night.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Yep, I'm gonna get
wrestling every day of the week.
Every day of the week. And you know what? As much as you say, yeah, they lost the war, but they just made it five nights a week. I get to watch wrestling. Six
my
days.
fiance ain't happy about that one.
Actually, I am. Actually, if you think about it, 6 days a week because it's 6 day is ROH in the mornings. If you could put ROH on in the morning.
Right.
So it's 6 days a week. And if you really want to get technical, I think New Japan, if you watch it late Sunday nights, so it's 7 days a week of wrestling. If you watch
and it's 7 days a week, once a month anyways.
You're right.
Whew, more wrestling is Impact.
Let's be honest here. Let's be honest here. Wrestling right now is the top sport people want to watch.
I don't know about that.
I mean, if you think about it, all right, wrestling never stopped, even through Corona.
No, that's true. But I don't think that it's the number one sport people want to see. Like right now, I do feel like people want to see their football and stuff, and because it was taken away from them.
Right.
That's probably why. See, we would be like that if Vince said, hey, listen, for that 3 months, we're going to shut down, and I'm going to make sure my superstars are okay. We would be like that, too. We'd be like, oh, my God, when's the next – when are they coming back? Like, come on. But then he said Impact's probably going to move to Thursday.
Yeah, because they're getting crushed right now in ratings by AEW.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, they're on Tuesdays. They didn't really have any competition. Their ratings actually have been going up since all of the signings. But to move to Thursday would be a smart move for them because there's no way they're going to compete with NXT.
No.
You move to Wednesday, no way that they can compete with AEW, and there's no way they move to Mondays because ain't nothing competing with Raw. I'm sorry.
No. And even though Raw is 3 hours, you're still not competing with Raw.
Drop it to 2. Danny, I got a shiny new thing, by the way. Is it a belt?
Is it a belt? Is it a belt, Danny?
What is it?
Because if it's a belt, I might be nice enough to bring you on.
But, I mean, Impact has actually been not bad. I've been watching it, and these people, I mean, they got Luke Gallows, Carl Anderson, they got
EC3,
Hawkins, EC3. What's the other one? Eric Young came back.
Yeah.
Very underrated superstar, in my opinion. Eric Young, very underrated, and it's sad he never got the chance in WWE that he should have.
No, they made him out to be a joke with that sanity gimmick.
Sean, you might have to send Danny the link. We got to see this new toy. Shiny new toy. This new toy he got.
But if it's not that nice, then I'm taking him off.
It better not be that any new championships. We like old school here.
I mean, trying to have that.
I mean, there's some new school titles that are pretty good.
Yeah.
But man,
I sent him the link. We'll see if he comes on here.
All right. Well, I just want to see what.
But I mean, this week of wrestling's been great.
Phenomenal.
AEW was really good this Wednesday too. A little bit.
The last hour was trash.
Yeah.
I mean, that whole brawl thing, that let's get everyone that's going to be in the ladder match in a match, and that was so dumb. The two women, these are two phenomenal women, and I cannot think of their names at the moment. I'm very sorry. And your timing for them was 90% commercials. That is ridiculous. That is not okay.
No, let's see.
Two of the best women in wrestling.
Let's see a new toy.
New toy.
Danny? Let's see the new shiny thing, man.
Hang on a minute. I gotta do something real quick. Hold on.
You see, can never bring a guest on. They're never ready. Try so hard, but they're never ready.
There we go.
No way. No.
Oh, he did. Oh, I was going to say.
Oh, my God. I thought he had the AEW.
Oh, yeah.
Me too. I was going to do what?
I was going to mark out, but that is beautiful.
That is a beautiful belt.
Yeah. This is a fan do, boys. Hear that? You hear that?
Oh,
that is a beautiful belt.
Oh my
glory.
God. The white leather is, oh my God.
White leather, copper plating, and purple gemstones.
Oh.
Nasty.
And where did you get that one from?
Fandu.
Okay.
Fandu. Yeah.
So you created your own championship.
I did put the D Lobo, so as you can see by the name, yes. So I did put that, but other than that, they had like a sale going on. It was like $200. I was like, hell yeah! Freaking those belts go for like they're like a $400 belt usually because they're non-logo. So like if you look, hold on, camera, they're non-logo. So there's no WCW, there's no NWA, there's no WWE. It's just a big gold or big copper in this particular. It's a big bad motherfucking belt on my fucking shoulder right now. I am El Champion Supreme, Danny Lobo, coming in live. I got some shit to say.
All right, Danny. Your thoughts on the island of Roman Reigns?
The island of Roman Reigns. I only saw that. I didn't see anything else of SmackDown last night. I should watch the Bayley turn, so that's something I need to watch later. But
Really good.
the only thing that I did see was the Heyman promo.
Gold.
Good. Not the best Heyman promo I've seen. The best Heyman promo was obviously like when CM Punk left and stuff like that, and he came out and he was like, he just thrashed everyone in the audience because they were just like, you sold out to Punk or whatever, you sold out to Lesnar or whatever the fuck. They didn't want Lesnar to come out, and Heyman just addressed them, and he just tore them a new asshole verbally. Like it was a whole thing. This one, I liked it. It was quiet. Like it was a different side of Paul Heyman that I liked. So like he channeled his like the thing that makes Jake the Snake Roberts a good promo now is that he's not loud. He's not freaking like in your face. He's just quiet because he knows exactly how secure he is in his guy. And that's what I liked about this particular one, because Heyman's smart. Like he knows that like there's no audience to actually like freaking like react to the loud promo that he usually does, and he knows that like everyone's just watching from home. So he doesn't have to be loud. He doesn't have to put out his like stage voice, blow his voice out just to reach to the back of the stadium in case the mic goes out. He knows that audience stuff is going to be canned in to the stream, so he's just taking his time, laying it all out. But in that taking his time and laying it all out, there were some stuff that I was just like, okay, that doesn't, all right, whatever. But overall, I like the promo. It was good. I like the promo. I'm excited to see what, I like the just shut up and win t-shirt because I like that because it's like, it's very.
Oh, just show up and win.
Is it just show up or win, or just shut up and win?
Show up and win.
Okay, I think I like shut up and win better. But yeah, I like the show up and win like moniker. Ultimately, still, I'm excited to see what Roman's gonna do, because I think I may be in the minority because I'm seeing a lot of people on Loudmouth react to Roman in the way that like they reacted to past Roman, which was just like, they're just throwing the belt on him because he's The Rock's cousin and bullshit. He's just making a new Cena. The dude hasn't held a belt in 2 years. 2 fucking years.
That is true.
Okay? Yeah. So everyone needs to chill the F out. This is a new chapter. This is a new Roman. We need to freaking be open-minded enough to be like, they're trying something else. They're not trying to baby face him.
Yeah, this new Roman is like more vicious, brutal Roman. Like this is more vicious and brutal. This is more vicious and brutal than the Shield days. All right, like I like the t-shirt. Really, I like the t-shirt vibe that he gets in the ring, but at the same time, I want like, you know how Zack Ryder comes out, or Matt Cardona comes out now on AEW, and he just pops his chest out and he's jacked. I want, because Roman's been putting in work in his time at home, and he's shredded. He is jacked. So like, I want that instance of just like he just like comes down to the ring, because all we've seen is like him with the t-shirt. I don't want the vest anymore. The vest needs to be done. I want him to come out. The vest needs to go.
I want him to come out in like either shorts or trunks, and I just want him to like come out with the t-shirt and then just go poof, and just rip it off and just be like, wah, and just like go off on whoever's in front of him.
I would love to see him go like a full, like I would love to see him go a full Samoan, like interchannel his Samoan heritage in being aggressive. That Samoan aggressiveness, you know, like we saw with Umaga and those guys. Like that's what I want to see. I want to see that with him, you know. Like I don't care. You get up on this, you get at the top of the stage. You build the stable with Jimmy and Jay, you know. You build that stable. You build this, and
like you said, maybe bring either Tamina or Nia in, one of them.
I mean, you bring a female
in. Jay's in for an ass whooping this coming Clash of Champions. like they're really like it's going to be a good match because Jimmy and Jey Uso are both tremendous workers, and the way they sell and the way they work, they're fantastic, and they're up. I think they're up there in the conversation of like the top 10 tag teams
easily.
in the world.
Easily.
So to say that like, this match is going to be like, it's just a throwaway match. No, watch this match because the way Jey Uso is going to sell for his relative is going to be tremendous because Roman's going to spear the fuck out of him. Is this PG?
No,
I should have said that. I should have asked. Although I don't care. I'm the champ.
Hey, easy there. You're calling yourself the champ. The real champ is on the other side of me, and that's Luch with the championship. That's the real champ.
Mine's bigger. Anyway.
It's the big dog.
Anyway, this match is going to be fantastic. I'm excited. I still don't buy WWE pay-per-views because of the previous topics that you guys just talked about, but I will be watching the clips religiously.
Yeah, I mean, I have WWE Network and all that stuff, so I'll be watching it. But here's the thing: is you build that stable with the Usos and you Roman, and you either put Tamina or Nia up there. More of Tamina probably than Nia. And I don't care if they come out and do that Samoan chant that they do that you see them do.
Like I missed that.
You do that in the beginning with those guys. Oh my God. And they come down and they just destroy everything and Heyman just stands back and I told you, that's all Heyman needs to do.
I will say this, as opposed to like risking just a whole thing with the bloodline, right? Have that Usos versus Roman, like the new Roman feud go on, right? But as opposed to making a stable, make it a 2-man pairing and have Roman basically just grab Baba Kato from Raw Underground and pluck and put him into SmackDown and have him run roughshod on the Usos and just double powerbomb the hell out of them. I'd be down to see that because Baba Kato, Baba Tunde is really good.
Yeah, but here's the thing: is you people have been waiting for this kind of bloodline thing. It was in the works before. People want to see it. I mean, Roman and the Usos have tagged before, and they look phenomenal together,
especially with the Samoans.
Samoans.
The Samoans is ridiculous.
Yeah. So, and even if you pulled Baba Kato from, Raw Underground and put him on SmackDown and even put him with the Usos, I'm pretty sure that'll work too. But here's we want to see, people want to see that bloodline Samoan. I mean, simple as that. I already know it's already in the works. But your thoughts on Twitch Cameo? Vince saying you're done after you got 30 more days.
So
gotta go away.
I'll be real with you, right? I wasn't gonna come on. I initially was just like, let me give him a week to just do, let me give him a couple days. I don't want to be a consistent, I don't want to be that guy that pesters Sean and Luch about me coming on and voicing my opinion and stuff like that. But I saw this morning and I was like, I need a platform. So, does Brock Lesnar still wear Jimmy John's on his shorts?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes, he does.
He does.
No one has a problem with that.
Nope.
They still got to pay the licensing fee to Jimmy John's because it's Jimmy John's likeness on public television, right? So yeah, this is complete and utter horseshit. That they can't even use their real names. I was actually getting into one of my channels that I have just been watching in quarantine, just as a thing of oh, this is nice, is Alistair and Selena Vega's channel. And I also I've just kind of been supporting other wrestlers and their channels.
Because Alistair and Selena are together, right?
They're married.
They're married.
They're married, right? Yeah.
They have,
they're married.
They have like 10 cats. It's fun. It's great. I love them. Alistair is a huge Magic the Gathering nerd, and I'm actually for it. Anyway,
what an odd pairing, huh?
No,
what an odd marriage, huh?
I love it.
Doesn't that look weird?
It's great. I love it. It's fantastic. My girlfriend's a little shorter than me, but it's like this is like it's like yeah. Anyway, but what was I gonna say? I've been supporting like the WWE's different like YouTube ventures and stuff like that. Like Cassie versus both the Iconics have their own YouTube channels and Instagram stuff that they do. Yep. Big E's on Cameo. Roman, when he was away in quarantine, was making bank on freaking Cameo because he was the highest cost freaking wrestling cameo. He was like $300 something for Roman Reigns, but people fucking bought it. And now what you're saying is that none of them can do it. None of them can like hang, all because AJ Styles says I might have corona. Like, okay, yeah, it's the most freaking contagious thing that there is right now. Everyone is, in their houses because of it. Of course, people are gonna freaking get it, especially if you have the highest rating of corona infections in your wrestling promotion, like NJPW. Extremely strict about freaking corona, even though or COVID, even though they don't, they don't have an ounce of it in Japan anymore. Like it's very minimal cases in Japan anymore.
Oh, and their fans are back, by the way.
And their fans are back. They can't. Yeah, exactly. AEW, they do 2 weeks of tapings and then they take 2 weeks off. That's been their schedule. Why? Because they need to be able to measure and be able to track who gets what. And if someone catches it, they're gone. They're out of the show. QT Marshall was booked on a show, and all of a sudden, at the last minute, the card changed. Why? He had a fucking disease. Why the heck wouldn't you send someone who is highly contagious home? Like, this is why Sami Zayn wanted to stay home. This is why freaking Roman Reigns wanted to stay home. It's obvious that you freaking want to stay home because of COVID. Anyway, going back to the issue of Cameo, Twitch, and all these things, it is ridiculous that they would like hold them for ransom, especially since like not too long ago, they were offering people numerous, like copious amounts of money just to stay with their company because they were afraid that AEW were going to use them in a different way. And now I'm seeing on the other side of this thing, a bunch of people who are just going to continue with their YouTube and their Cameo stuff, possibly get fined or You think AJ Styles is going to stop doing Twitch? No, he's not. He's not going to stop doing Twitch. Why?
He'll stop doing Twitch because he doesn't want to be fired.
I saw what Punk said. He just said, continue doing it.
No one stop. What are they going to do? Fire all of you?
Exactly.
They can't fire all of you.
On top of that, AJ is a huge WWE guy. They love him there, right? But if he continues doing Twitch, no one's going to fucking stop him. They might fine him, right? They might suspend him. But if they suspend him, people are going to get in an uproar. And then on top of that, like, if they fine him, what's freaking whatever it is, however small fine, AJ Styles has made bank across the states. WWE's paying him a shit ton of money. Like, it doesn't really matter at this point what they fine him. He's just going to pay it and continue to do what he does, right? And what are they going to do? They're not going to, even if they go down to the thing of like, we might have to terminate him. Or do you think they're really going to terminate AJ Styles with AEW, Impact, and all these other places fiending, wanting more talent? Impact would scoop him up in an instant. You know how quickly they would, you know how much money Scott D'Amore would be willing to shill out if they can have Doc Gallows, Carl Anderson, and AJ Styles on Impact as opposed to WWE? So much money. All of the money. Deonna Purrazzo would be starving if they freaking if AJ Styles was like fired from WWE.
AJ Styles fired from WWE, you would see him 2 weeks later on Impact.
Exactly.
He'd be right on Impact.
Exactly.
I mean, I would rather see him on Impact anyways.
No, and like that's the thing. I want them to continue because I would rather see them on other places, especially the female talent. If Zelina Vega continues her Twitch, if Paige continues her Twitch, I would want them to go to AEW because AEW needs a new another like fresh batch of women's wrestlers right the F now.
But here's
because
my problem, and you're saying every time a WWE wrestler's gone, well, they got to go to AEW. No, they don't. They don't always got to go to AEW. Like they don't always got to go there.
I'm not saying every single AEW. I'm not saying every single WWE talent needs to go to AEW because that's not the case.
Zelina doesn't need to go to AEW.
But the thing is, like, even to you and I got to a little conversation about this the last time. I remember this. Impact had more WWE signings in the past 3 months than AEW did, and that's including the refs, right? So to say that AEW is signing all the WWE talent is not true, right?
No, what I'm saying is that every time somebody leaves, wrestling world's got to come up and be like, they got to go to AEW. No, they don't have to go to AEW. Like they probably just fit.
I agree.
You probably aren't going to fit in AEW. That's the problem. Is AJ Styles wouldn't fit in AEW. Zelina Vega wouldn't fit in AEW.
I disagree with that highly. She's an insanely tremendous wrestler. She knows how to work. She knows how to do promos. She fits perfectly as a heel for Hikaru Shida or Thunder Rosa down the road. Perfectly.
Zelina would be better off in New Japan.
How's she going to get there? I know they're doing the US. I know they're doing the US Cup, and also they don't have a women's roster. They have a Joshi like third party that they work with, but they themselves don't have a women's roster. They've been playing with it, with the idea, but unfortunately, like
you bring it down there and be a manager to someone. Oh, she'll rock it. She'll rock it as a manager.
The thing though, like, yes, Zelina as a manager is phenomenal, but she is a phenomenal wrestler. Why is she not in the ring week in and week out?
That's what
She's
I'm saying.
Phenomenal.
She is like,
there's no talent. There's no talent in WWE for her.
There's no what?
There's really no talent for her to get into the ring with. On
Raw.
Sean,
say that again.
We're talking Raw.
Say that again. Say that again.
And Shayna Baszler on Raw. This tiny little freaking, basically a Rey Mysterio girl version, like, could bounce around the ring, and like Shayna Baszler and Bianca Belair, basically two tanks, could like be perfect bases for a Zelina Vega high flyer like female. Like, that is such BS.
I would rather have Zelina Vega on SmackDown than Raw.
Okay,
I'm not saying there's not talent. I'm just saying
I will say that
Raw,
the SmackDown
on Raw is not for her. SmackDown is where she belongs.
The only SmackDown storyline that is women's related that is currently hot is the Bayley Sasha thing, right? And that is true. I will say that.
Yeah, but I mean, I just even
if they sent her down to NXT, that'd be a huge boost for her because they have Io Shirai, they have Rhea Ripley, they have a bunch of freaking. I want to see a match between because they started it a little bit, and I want to see a continuing feud with if they eventually turn their face again, or even if they don't, I still want to just see them wrestle Candice LeRae and Zelina Vega again. I loved that little like thing that they had, and I would love to see that again.
Yeah, I mean, you could put Zelina Vega down in NXT. I think she'd blow the roof off the place down there.
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%. And they have better women's wrestlers in NXT than in Raw or SmackDown.
Absolutely.
That's why the only NXT Championship title that was on at WrestleMania was the women's. The men's was not featured. The tag was not featured. It was the women's. It was the women's because they believed in that product so much.
Well, yeah. So, one thing. Bray Wyatt interrupted SmackDown's championship match to say there will be a special guest in the Firefly Funhouse next week. Are we going to see Sister Bliss next week in Firefly Funhouse? Because right after, they showed Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross talking, and one of like the Fiend's little
the rabbit
things, the rabbit was in the background, kind of felt like he was like possessing her in a way, because like he was like
talking, he's talking, she's talking, stuff like that. Yeah.
It was kind of like a weird thing, but are we going to see her straight up just go to Sister Bliss?
I wouldn't mind seeing it at all.
I'll let y'all comment on this. I'm out.
I really can't wait. I I really want to
becoming-
see Sister
becoming.
Bliss.
It's becoming. I want to see Sister Bliss too.
Maybe. Do I want to see it as Sister Bliss? I don't know, to be honest. I don't know if I want to see her do the Sister Abigail thing. Do I think her and Bray would make a phenomenal little thing? I do.
Absolutely.
I think she could make it work. Out of other females I can see working with Bray just as good, but I don't see why Alexa can't do it.
Well, one female that would have worked great with Bray, but she's obviously working with somebody else, and that's Scarlett.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I mean,
But
Cross and Scarlett together are phenomenal.
It's phenomenal itself.
Their entrances, that's one of my favorite entrances right now, is them two.
Yeah.
I thought you were about to say Liv Morgan, which was the original path, but yeah.
Yeah, Liv Morgan is not. No, I didn't like that as the original path in the first place.
Really?
I wouldn't mind to see Liv. I think Liv could do it. I think, to be honest, Liv might do it better than Alexa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alexa with this Harley Quinn thing gotta go. This Harley Quinn gimmick has been old.
Yeah. I mean, she came in with the Harley Quinn gimmick, so
She came in with a cheerleader gimmick.
Sean, what were you just saying, Sean? You gotta change. You gotta keep changing yourself in WWE. That's
Yes,
what the
you have
Miz
to
said. So Sean said it right.
yes, you have to evolve
But
in
Kofi didn't
WWE.
change himself. Kofi didn't evolve.
No.
Danny, did
What's
you
up?
watch last week? Please tell me you saw some of this last week.
The stuff with like
Loud, off the top rope, loudmouth. Did you see any of it last week?
unfortunately I was at work, so I was not.
Well, the biggest thing was we talked about the Miz and Big E getting into it about Kofi Kingston. That
I
Kofi,
think it's yes.
I agree with the Miz.
It's bullshit. The
So
Miz
I
didn't have to
didn't-
wait 11 years to get a title shot.
But the Miz put himself out there and made himself marketable.
He did have to wait a while. I will say that he had to wait like 7 or so years until he got like a title shot.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's still a bit. And then they did him dirty by just smushing, by having him be like the meat in between a John Cena and Rock sandwich at the next WrestleMania. So yeah. So do I think that you need to reinvent yourself consistently in WWE to survive? Kofi actually did. He went from Boom Clap to New Day, right? So like,
But then after that, it was nothing.
yeah, because because the New Day is the biggest freaking merch monkey that like WWE has. Bootios, the shirts.
Okay.
Like, why would they want to disband New Day?
But then you put the title on him.
Right.
You don't act goofy and throw pancakes in the crowd as a WWE champion.
Why though? Why can't you? Why can't you?
It's the WWE Championship. And you don't be stupid and goofy.
But Otis has the money in the bank. What are you talking about?
And Otis isn't even going to cash in.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And
What
Otis,
are you talking about?
Otis isn't even going to cash. Has he even cashed it in yet? No, he's not even going to cash it in.
Ducky.
Wait a minute. Speaking of Otis, who's seen the stupid little thing on SmackDown that happened? Morrison stole the Money in the Bank briefcase, right? Gets it in the back, opens it, and it's nothing but a lunchbox. And he has the actual contract in the lunchbox. Like the Money in the Bank lunchbox he's been carrying around.
This is why I only watch certain clips on YouTube. I don't watch the show anymore.
I mean, I thought it was stupid too, but I was like, right then and there, you see it like, why can't you make a WWE champion funny? You can. It just has to be the right person. Kofi was the right person.
And also, Kofi, when he got serious about the WWE Championship, yes, did he throw pancakes in the crowd? Yes, because that's the thing. That's his whole, like, that's his surroundings. That's his, like, that's his environment. That's his niche.
But
Obviously,
he needed to take it a little bit more serious.
He did. His promos, like, the heartwarming moment with him, Daniel Bryan, at the end of that, a whole thing where they presented him Daisy, not the wooden belt, but Daisy. Like, and then his kids came in and they hugged him, and it was just the most fucking heartwarming payoff to like this big story build. And like when he did promos on Raw and even on Raw and SmackDown, they were decent promos. Kofi knows how to work. Kofi knows how to take things seriously. Is he like freaking Goldberg serious or like even Strowman serious? No, because that's just goofy at that point. Like, people took him seriously when it came to the whole Randy Orton feud because they know that's got history. Did it pay off well? Not at all, unfortunately.
Yeah, he screwed that up. He screwed that up himself.
Booking screwed that up.
No, he didn't.
Screwed that up.
He screwed up the whole match.
That was 50-50.
He screwed up that whole match. That match was screwed up. He screwed up the match.
No, it was a double count out. Why would you pay off this long build to a double count out? That's stupid.
No, I'm talking when Randy pinned him in the ring and he made the mistake that he did. When he RKO'd him, called him stupid because he screwed up the whole match.
You're talking about back in the day?
Yeah.
I'm talking about now when in this current with this past Randy Orton run with Kofi and the belt with the double count out.
Oh yeah, because you weren't going to put him on. You weren't going to put the title on.
Then just have Kofi pin him. Like,
yeah, you're not going to have Kofi pin Randy. Randy's not going to let that. Randy's not going to let that happen.
Oh, but Keith Lee comes in and just pins him on his first night.
Because Keith Lee is actually marketable.
And
Kofi's marketable.
No.
There was an entire freaking 6-month build with Kofi Mania.
Not as a single.
Sold, Sean.
But not as a single. He's not a single competitor. I told you. Top guy as like a mid-carder and a tag team. That's it.
No. The entire New Day. Each of them can have a singles run in their own respective right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're talking Xavier Woods is going to have.
You don't think Xavier Woods can have a singles run?
An extremely charismatic promo. The guy who has the guy who does the most promos in the New Day. An extremely talented high flyer and like middleweight guy, flexible guy. Like an extremely well-rounded worker. And then on top of that, he's just a good freaking likable guy that the crowd just likes. Like, they love him in Up, Up, Down, Down. They love him, like, in his, like, Instagram stuff. They love him outside of the ring. They love him inside the ring. Why wouldn't Austin Creed be a marketable singles push in 2021, 2023?
Here, I'll answer for Sean. Because he's funny. You can't have a funny person as champion.
When have you seen when's the last time you really seen somebody who was funny as champion?
Orange Cassidy. Independent wrestling TV champion for the longest goddamn time.
I'm talking WWE here.
Well, okay. Give me a second. It's gonna come to me in a minute.
And if you're gonna go way back into Mankind, then that's just
no. It doesn't even have to go that far back.
We're looking at like a silly are we talking about silly gimmick or like a silly run or like what?
Like a gimmick, almost like the New Day, where it's goofy.
It's not goofy. It's technically not goofy. It's technically kid friendly. If we're gonna be honest, it's goofy to you, but kids love it. The kids loved it. The kids loved it. But
I'm waiting, Danny. I'm waiting.
I'm even trying to think, and I really can't think of anyone in WWE that had like
because they're
Ryder, maybe.
I just have to go to Google. Give me a minute.
Are we saying WWE champion?
WWE champion. We're talking.
I'm saying I think Sean means big belt champion. Period. Yes. Universal or otherwise.
Right.
Roman? I didn't mean Roman. I meant Braun. Braun, sorry.
No,
Braun was kind of like
stupid. Braun wasn't even goofy.
I really wish that I high key wish they could have given Santino Marella just like a little like opportunity at the big belt, but unfortunately that.
Oh my god,
that would have been great. That would have been great. Take my money,
that would have been
Vince.
fantastic. The Cobra just comes out and just
put a championship on the Cobra.
Yeah.
On the Cobra. Yes. Sean hates us.
listen,
Sean is hating us right now.
no, listen. If you'd have done Santino Marella with the 24/7 championship, that would have been money. Yes, it would have been, because the Cobra never sleeps. Like, oh my god, that would have been money.
Have people pin the Cobra. Don't even pin Santino.
Exactly.
the champion. That's how we got to do it.
Oh, that was
Or
good.
or like Santino's sleeping and you think he's sleeping, but then the Cobra just strikes you and you still lose. Like
Santino wins the first match, and then in the night, the Cobra covers Santino and wins. Yeah. That's how we got to do it. That's how it's got to be done.
He wasn't funny. He wasn't funny himself, but the idea of a Jinder Mahal championship at the time was funny.
He was champ. Then he was the title?
Champ. He did, but that's why I'm saying at the time, everyone thinking like he's not gonna win the title. The idea of it was funny, and then it happened, and then we realized, oh god, this is the worst joke ever.
But listen, Jinder Mahal champion. I love that run. I love that run. Love that run. That run was great.
He came back, and he really was that dude when he came back for a minute.
He was.
But I mean, that's what they need. I mean, honestly, he came back. He was ripped. Drew came back. He was ripped. He just made a special appearance not too long ago.
Ripped. He was ripped.
3MB's just ripped.
Right.
Yeah.
I would love to see 3MB back together. That would be
one last run. Oh my god.
Heath and didn't another member of 3MB recently go back? Oh wait, no, it's just Heath. Heath's in Impact.
Heath's in Impact. Isn't this Heath's first run in Impact? If I believe.
Yes.
He was always there once.
No, he was always with WWE. Always with WWE.
Justin, what's up, brother?
Anyway, even if they are a funny character, right? I mean, technically, I guess you could say Bray Wyatt in itself, as the Fiend, was a funny character.
I wouldn't say he was a funny character. That was a dark character.
Yeah, Fiend is kind of dark. If you would say maybe Firefly Funhouse Bray, I can agree.
Morbidly funny.
But the Funhouse Bray was even like dark and sinister in itself.
At times, yeah.
At times, like he would go from like this, like hey, hi, to like let me in. Like it was just that constant change. And so, I mean, if you really want to go goofy character, maybe Cena had a goofy character kind of run when he was WWE champion.
Sean,
maybe.
Shut up.
The whole rapping part of it. Hold on, the whole rapping part. You laugh. Am I right?
I think one of the things that makes a good promo or a good champion in general is having a good air of and a sense and a timing with comedy, right? I will say this: one of my favorite Braun Strowman moments pre-belt, right, is when he was feuding with Elias on Raw. Elias is in the ring. He does his shtick, and then the lights go out again. And then Kayla goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, Braun Strowman." And Braun Strowman walks out with a big-ass bass.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that kind of stuff is funny, but yet you still realize that, like, he could win. And that's the thing with Kofi, and I was about to call him Austin, Xavier. They all have an air of comedy and an air of comedic timing with them, but when it gets down to the nitty-gritty, they're still a great set of dudes, and they would each individually make great singles competitors. Just look at freaking Big E's freaking NXT run. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I need 5. 5. So like that alone is great. It would still get a pop to this day. I feel like
the whole Big E run in NXT, the 5 was like that was like a knockoff of Bundy.
George the Animal Steel.
George the Animal Steel. Like when I seen it, I was just like, yeah, I've seen that before. You know, like so it's like that's nothing new.
But let's be honest, 99% of the stuff we see in wrestling we've seen before. If we're gonna be honest.
Roman and Becky Lynch are doing iterations of Stone Cold currently, so it's like, yeah. Eventually, it's kind of a thing of just like what works may lead to a little bit of imposter syndrome, but that's up to the audience and for the wrestler to decide whether or not they want to continue with it.
Hence why Jake the Snake says that people don't know how to get over today with their character.
Here's two things of today: people don't know how to get over, and people don't know how to genuinely be their gimmick.
Exactly.
That is two things I think that killed wrestling in a way.
I still think that Cornettian ideology is flawed, very heavily so. But there's an air of like where it works and where it doesn't. It's a fine line. If you go, like, obviously, like, there are things you do and certain things you don't. Like, there are certain things you do and certain things you don't do. Obviously, that's just common sense. That's, you know, right and wrong. MJF is treading that fine line tremendously like a fucking trapeze act. However, I don't think everyone can do the blurring of lines because otherwise, like, you know, it might plague them. It might, you know, mess with them. Like, eventually, after a while, when you start living the character, you become the character. It's kind of like Terry Bollea. It's kind of like the difference between Terry Bollea and Hulk Hogan. Everyone knows who the fuck Hulk Hogan is. No one knows who the fuck Terry Bollea is.
Because there's no Terry Bollea now. Terry Bollea is Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan is Hulk, you know.
And then on top of that, to a much more detrimental example. No one knows what the hell New Jack's real name is. It's just New Jack. No one knows who New Jack is. It's just New Jack.
Right.
That is true.
And no one knows the real Mark Calloway. I mean, Mark Calloway is the Undertaker's Mark Calloway.
Except for Michelle McCool. That's
right. And then you also had Macho Man, who lived his gimmick 24/7.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many. I mean, we look backward in the back just Attitude Era. How many people lived their gimmick then? I mean, you had Taker living his gimmick. Stone Cold was Stone Cold. Like,
I think it's what Luch was saying earlier when we were talking about when you guys were talking about Cameo and Twitch and stuff like that. It's in today's age, it's nearly non-existent for there to be a curtain or a veil between what is private and what is character. We have technology, we have data, we have access to information 24/7. There's very seldom. Shinsuke Nakamura does an amazing job of it. I don't know how no one knows about his wife or what the hell she does, but no one knows anything else about Shinsuke Nakamura other than what Shinsuke Nakamura presents in the ring, and that he surfs. That's it. To say that people need to live their gimmick, it's difficult. No one's going to be able to do that 24/7 because then you're going to have instances, unfortunately, like this past time with Sonya and Mandy, that idiots like Cornette are just going to be like, "Oh, they should get fined or fired because they broke kayfabe." Fuck that. That's dumb.
They were living together prior to their breakup and split up and all that crap. They were living together.
Mandy had a house in Fort Lauderdale. They were doing tapings in Orlando. Sonya had a house in Orlando. Of course, they would freaking live together.
Right. So don't go.
I heard Vince was pissed about that too.
But what do you expect?
Vince was a little pissed.
Yeah, but what do you expect?
Someone broke into their house. They can't control that.
I mean, I agree. I'm just saying that Vince was kind of mad that they were staying together and having a feud, from what I've read.
Yeah, which I think is so dumb.
Exactly.
But I think it's stupid that Vince is trying to make his people quit doing everything else. They can't do that.
And he owns your name, and he owns your legal birth name.
Yeah. If you're that dumb to do that, then you do that.
How does Renee Young spell her name? It's Young is spelled Young, right?
Right.
Yep.
Just forget the O and just go with Young. Do the Rhino. It's just like, is it a Rhino with a Y or Rhino with an R? Rhino with a Y. Oh, okay, he's in WWE. Got it.
Man, I don't think he owns everybody's name, but I think major talent. Like he probably doesn't own Renee Young's name, but like he did own like Dean Ambrose name.
Well, she could also just go by her married name, which is Renee Good. Like, you know, it doesn't really. It's still like not direct. It's not like Renee Moxley or some bullshit like that, where there's still like a blurring of lines. Like if she does do commentary later on in that, if she goes that way, there's still like a blurring of lines where it's just like people are able to separate it with the names and stuff like that. But everyone knows that they're married. Like, so it's dumb that people aren't able to use their real names in real life. If I was there, I'd be like, you're able to use my you want me to stop so you guys can use my name? I heard one of you chime in with this. Give me healthcare. You want me to stop doing this? Give me healthcare.
You want me to stop doing this? Put an extra few zeros on my paycheck.
If you're going to take away my extra money, you either need to
pay me more,
or you need to give me more benefits. Whether that's airfare, whether that's a rental car, whether that's hotel, no matter what. But if you want me to start making money this way, then you need to put in where I'm losing. It's simple as that.
Yeah, because I think when the way they get paid, it's not like how we get paid, like how anybody else gets paid. Like every 2 weeks you get a paycheck. Like they do a show and it's like a month later, a big check goes into your bank account.
Yeah,
they're like, this is how much you're getting.
Yeah,
exactly. You did that match. Here's 80 grand. Like that's how it works. But you're waiting a month.
Yeah.
For money to come in.
Yeah, and that's if you're on the program.
If you're on the program.
Yeah, and not on furlough or suspended for some reason with pay. Like, you know, yeah.
But I mean, if you're NXT, obviously you're getting paid every 2 weeks because they put you at like a $50,000 a year, and they're like training. You're getting a 2 week paycheck every 2 weeks. And once you start roster and shit, it's like, do I get paid? Oh, that'll be next month. Which
at this point, like, I think that everyone in NXT should just be getting scaled to what main roster is getting at this point. It's like the idea that this is a developmental brand is done. No one thinks that anymore. It's on main roster.
They're not a developmental brand.
Yeah, it's on main roster television. Like, I'm actually happy that, war aside, I'm happy that NXT is moving to a separate day so that I can actually watch it without having to go back and forth with like channel flipping or stuff like that. Because otherwise, I'm just going to pick AEW because that's what that's my brand. But you know, I'm happy now because now I can just keep up with it. It seems like there's like a return to form with these last couple of shows because you see where Bronson Reed is now, and in 2 or 3 like pay-per-views, takeovers, he's gonna be where freaking Punishment Martinez, what's his name? Damian Priest is now with the North American Championship. It's that gradual level up that we miss about the old NXT formula. These are the guys that are starting at the bottom. Yeah. They're pushing them. It's very clear, and it's a very linear track. Obviously.
Now, what I wish WWE would do is not stop referring to NXT as developmental, because, like you said, they are their own brand. So when you come to WWE, you start out in the It is now the WWE Performance Center. It is not WWE NXT. It's WWE Performance Center. You will train and learn for like a year or however long.
Maybe do evolve matches here and there because they have a partnership.
Right. And then you move to NXT.
Yeah.
And then you go from it, but hey, you might be good enough that you miss NXT and you go to the main roster. But then you go to the main roster. You know, you kind of like, but it is now
it's
WWE.
It's like I hate to say this about main roster WWE. I don't, but it's like an uphill like trajectory. You start at the Performance Center, you do an Evolve match, you do an NXT match, you maybe win a championship, and then you go to main roster.
Main roster.
That's the thing, though, is they don't have a whole roster at the moment. So why are they not just using everybody?
Oh, listen, if I was Vince, I'd be pulling guys from NXT over to Raw and putting them on TV. Let me see what you got, kid.
Well, I think that's actually another point that I want to talk about. Can we talk about how Keith Lee, at the top of the card in NXT, was the last real babyface? They literally had 4 heels going up for the championship. That was vacated by a big heel, by a big dominant heel. So 4 other heels basically just went up and were just like, yeah, we get the next title shot. We maybe get Balor as like a kind of pseudo face, but like even still, there's no real baby faces anymore. There's no top level baby faces in NXT right now. And
There's
it's
no
a
top
thing.
level. Listen, there's no top level baby face in the product right now, in WWE product. Right now, there's no really top level baby face. I know you're looking at me weird, Luch, but there's not. I mean, really think about it, man. There's really no top level baby face like Keith Lee.
Dominic Mysterio.
What I'm thinking about, like,
I mean, Dominic Mysterio, maybe
for a minute I was going to say
maybe the Street Profits, but top level baby face as a single person,
right?
You don't really got that anymore.
Drew's not a babyface?
Who?
Drew is a babyface, but I think that he's struggling. Like, we loved him at first because he was becoming that independent Drew Galloway. He was channeling Drew Galloway in his promos and in his work, and we loved it. It was like freaking Kevin Nash, Big Daddy Cool kind of shit. And it was just a good promos. You destroy the guy in like 10 seconds with the Claymore. It's beautiful. And then like it started to go down, and now it's starting to go downhill because they're giving him crap to sell in his promos. So like it's
and please, every time I watch him, how many more times does he have to call Randy a son of a bitch? Like, dude, like every time, evil son of a bitch. I swear he said it like 5 times. And
the first time he said
that, I'm like, oh my God.
The first time he said that, it was probably a genuinely good reaction from like people on like Facebook or Squared Circle or whatever. The first time he said that when they were first promoing, and then creative saw that, or Vince saw that, and they were just like, we need to inject that like 5 more times in like the promo now. Like, like spam the fuck out of that. That's going to be your thing. No, like, this is dumb. Yeah. Don't make me fuck. Don't.
No.
Yeah, when Vince sees something, he just runs with it.
Like, I think that if you go back and you watch Drew Galloway in Impact or in like, you know, in his indie runs, like in between the first time he appeared on WWE when he got fired and then like going to NXT, even in NXT, shit, he was amazing. Like, he knew how to promo, he knew how to work, he knew how to do everything. Watch the Oney Lorcan Drew McIntyre match, and you will never be sorry you ever watched a Drew McIntyre match in your entire life, because that match is amazing. And the fact that, you know, you have a guy looks amazing, like Vince McMahon guy.
Yep.
And no one fucking likes him, and they're booking him into the ground. It's dumb.
But that's booking. We all know that. That's how WWE books.
But here's the funny part is with WWE, like these writers are booking it, and like last minute Vince is like, "What the fuck is this shit?" No, and changing shit for the past 2 weeks. We're like, right at the last minute.
For the past 3 Raws, they had to rewrite an hour and during the show. An hour before and during the show, the past 3 Raws have been rewritten.
Yeah, Vince McMahon was in the back going like, nah, no.
That's the problem, is that they're just throwing shit together.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
And please go back.
What was it this past time? It was his birthday, and so he just decided, I'm gonna fuck up the whole show because it's my birthday.
You probably. I mean, Vince is the, I want to say the worst, but Vince needs to understand that
No. You're right. He's the worst.
he really might be.
With this cameo thing, he has now become the worst. I can't wait. Like, I'll say this, right? And the day that it happens, it's gonna be a sad day because everyone's gonna remember the good times. But ultimately, the bad has far outweighed the good in this particular case, and I can't wait for this man to die.
That'll be that. The day Vince dies, because I don't think Vince is gonna die until he's like 100.
No, yeah. His mother is still alive.
Yeah.
His mother is still alive.
That man can go. And I'll tell you this: the day Vince dies, it's going to be a very sad day in wrestling. Very.
Yes.
I mean,
I agree.
It'll be a very sad day.
It'll be a sad week. It'll be a sad week.
Let's be a whole emotional week. Where I don't think you'll put on a show. I don't think you'll wrestle.
Well, it's going to be like an Eddie show where it's just going to be remembering Vince McMahon for all of the WWE shows.
But even with the Eddie show, there was matches. Like, I don't even think there's going to be matches the day Vince goes.
The day Vince goes is going to be like every single show is going to be in memoriam of Vince McMahon, remembering everything that he did, and like everyone's going to have like talking head like interviews where like they're talking about like the first time they met Vince or whatever, and like what he meant to them on every single week of programming. On every single day of programming. And then
they'll go back to like they'll show old matches and stuff like that. They'll do stuff like that, but I don't see them like actual like you see current wrestling.
And then the week after that.
The week after that, they'll start.
Hunter's gonna realize like all the shit that his father-in-law did, and he's gonna realize like he was fucking burying this product. I am so fucking shocked. Okay, time to clean up shop. And he's gonna get rid of the people that he didn't like that Vince kept around, and he's gonna bring in more talent from PWG and like the indies and stuff like that. And he's probably gonna do a better job at it. I don't think it's gonna be on the level that everyone thinks it's gonna be because he's gonna have total control. And we see what power does. So
I don't think he'll have total control. I think Shane,
Danny. Triple H ain't gonna be that guy. Triple H ain't gonna run the program, Danny.
No.
Well, who do you think? Do you think it's just gonna be
Shane McMahon's gonna be running that?
It's a family thing.
He has nil interest in doing that. Very minimal interest. I think.
What?
He's in Raw Underground now, and his dad brought him back. But like, I don't see because like he left for how long was it? Like in between, 11 years or some shit like that.
Yeah, but that was for his like that was for him. Like he went out and did shit on his own and made his own money. That's all he wanted to do. He's like, I just want to make money, go on my own. And then he came back. Because he realized, like, hey, my dad's going to go soon, and my sister can run it. Don't get me wrong. Stephanie could probably run that shit just as good.
I think I think that's the McMahon that you have to worry about the most, probably taking usurping power is Stephanie.
Well, probably, but I actually am going to have to go, so I'm just going to end it with me on this one.
Yeah, I am actually going to go, too, so I got shit to do.
If anybody runs WWE after Vince McMahon, be Shane McMahon. Just to keep it in the family. He has little boys who can grow up and then take it after Shane. But you put Stephanie in. Stephanie already said what she wants to do. She wants to fire half the men and put it's going to be 50-50. 50% women, 50% male wrestlers. I actually like that. But I just don't think Stephanie would make a great fit as a CEO of the company. COO, 100%. Have Shane be the CEO and have Stephanie be the COO, and I think you'll have a pretty dominant fucking force right there.
And on that note, we thank you, Danny, for coming on. The El Champion Supreme, Danny Lobo, on with his fake title that he claims he's the champion. It's okay.
Out of me.
So,
excuse me.
On that note, make sure you guys go to bombshellbowling.com/loudmouth sports talk. Get your loudmouth apparel today. T-shirts, $20. Your hoodies are $40. Anything higher than XL on a hoodie is $45. So make sure you go there. bombshellbowling.com/loudmouth sports talk. Once again, Luciano, the true champion here on Loudmouth Off the Top Rope. The El Champion, he calls himself the El Champion Supreme, Danny Lobo, with
I got a
his
bigger belt, baby.
with his baby title that we will call that because he's not a real champion in life. That's okay because me and Luch are both real champions. But from us at Loudmouth Off the Top Rope, you guys have a great night, and we'll see you here next week, 4 p.m. Loudmouth Off the Top Rope.
Thank you, guys.
See ya.